Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Google Workspace Recap, the Tab Geeks Network show. Each week we take you through everything announced by Google Workspace, discussing the updates of the week and other relevant news and announcements. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. So I took today off because it's President's Day and my kids didn't have school, and it turns out I'm way more exhausted from a day of 2 kids' birthday parties and shuttling them back and forth and spending time with my kids than I am from a whole day at work. So let's hope that I can string my sentences together properly tonight. I already had to do the intro twice because I totally had the cadence off and it was not working. Anyway, Steve, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. As you know, I went out to the auto show last week, and it just wasn't quite what I remember it being as a kid. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't as big, wasn't as many concept cars as I remember. It did have some interesting, riding experiences where you can jump in some of the cars and ride around inside there, which was interesting.
Perhaps your childlike wonder is just gone.
Maybe.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, I remember going to the auto show over in the Javits Center and whatnot, not in JFK, but in Manhattan, and being able to ride on a Jeep where it comes up on a 70-degree angle and you feel like you're going to fall out the window, and it's just totally normal and totally fun. So I imagine you did some of that type of stuff. They're still doing that.
They had all that. They had the Jeeps there, the Broncos, some of the trucks. Those were the kind of vehicles they had.
Any Cybertruck action?
No, nothing to it. I mean, they had the Ford F-150 Lightning there.
That's cool.
Which was
big
interesting.
Fan of that thing. Everybody in Texas is buying those.
I mean, everyone apparently is. It was the back orders are filled up and you can't even get on the list anymore at the moment. So,
hey, I'm happy. I have Ford stock. It's doing well.
I don't think truck is my thing though.
No?
Well, that was
not going off-roading?
That was the one vehicle I sold as a car salesman was a truck.
You were a car salesman? Truck. I didn't know that.
So I very, very briefly, yes.
There you go. Things you learn on the show.
Person to leave my onboarding group of 20 people. I lasted the longest. It was only about 6 months. That was it.
You only sold one truck.
One truck. Yeah.
You left. They didn't throw you out the door on your ass.
I can't remember. It could have been either one.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah. I think I left for something different, from something better.
Good times. We didn't cover that on your How Did You Get Into IT on the IT Hero podcast before we started the show.
I thought I mentioned that. I thought I mentioned that along the way, along the journey of
I don't think
jobs.
so.
No.
Well, folks, if you haven't yet, go back and listen to, back then it was called Supporting IT Support, but Tab Geeks, our other Tab Geeks podcast, which is now called Heroes of IT, shameless plug there. We did interview Steve. I was testing him out. I was trying to see how good he sounded on mic and on camera, although we weren't on camera back then. It was just mic'd. And he doesn't sound as good as he does now. We've had some upgrades getting ready for this show before we founded it. So if you're interested in how Steve got into IT and whatnot, go and listen to that episode.
It was a good
one.
We
have upside down. It was a good episode. What?
I'm saying, I really enjoyed that episode. It was a good intro into podcasting there.
Yeah, it was your first time on behind the mic, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was good. All right, we got a upside down episode here.
We do. Meaning we have more other topics that we do updates, and by a considerable
3
amount,
times.
Yeah, quite a lot, because we only had 4 updates announced this week officially on the blog. But then we have, I don't know, what is it, 8 or 9 here. Updates on other topics of things that we've seen. A couple of them related to the one update this week, but for the most part, all interesting things. So diving in to those updates for this last week, we have search tips in Google Drive now out to help refine search results and surface important files faster. The new Smart Canvas features in Google Docs have now been rolled out or are still rolling out. I've yet to receive them on a few of my accounts, but Jesse seems to get them, as does everyone else but me, apparently. Here I am, last one again.
Not feeling the love.
No. And then we have the last 2 being improved search experience in Google Chat on the web, and also a new document preview enhancement in the cloud search experience. So those are the updates that came out last week. And then in terms of other topics, we have quite a few. So I think one of the biggest, well, there's a lot of them are pretty interesting here. But probably the biggest one is that Cloud Ready is now ChromeOS Flex. And that is out in a bit of an early preview mode. So you can download and install that new ChromeOS Flex image and load it up on an old machine of yours to test it out. I tried to test it out on a MacBook Air that has the fingerprint reader, but was not liking it even after some of those firmware setting changes to decrease security. Just was not booting up and loading for me, unfortunately. I don't know. I'll give it another try and see if anyone's given it a shot, but wasn't working. Might have to try it on some of the old MacBook, an old MacBook or a Mac Mini. But I definitely want to try to get that working.
Boxes I can play with.
Yeah, I've got an old Surface that I've been using for some of the Windows policy, Windows Enhanced Desktop support, but I might wipe it and move it over to Chrome OS. We'll see. We'll talk more about that in a bit.
I should put it on my Surface Go.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Through about 10 more topics here on our other topics. Other things about the Smart Canvas release was that Google Docs is getting some AI generated summaries. And then, of course, the Smart Canvas rollout that was talked about on the cloud, the Google Cloud blog as well. So not just the Workspace Updates blog. And then there are some Google Workspace productivity tips over on a YouTube playlist there. And we have Google search on desktop tests adding widgets and weather and other Discover-like cards. So I think we talked about this a while ago about some of the code that I think 9 to 5 or some engineers were finding in some of the Android code, right? So alluding to the old Google experience of what was it called now? Not
iGoogle.
iGoogle. I was thinking Google Home, but that's what's behind me here. It's one of those. Yes, the iGoogle kind of experience. I think that's probably more of that coming out. Google,
just bring back iGoogle already.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's kind of happening in a new way.
Yeah. Yes.
Google commissions and releases Roboto Serif as a new font, which is ideal for reading, apparently. And then introducing a Google Cloud infrastructure diagramming tool, which at first glance is cool as a diagramming tool. But what else can it do? It deploys the infrastructure after you've designed it in the diagramming tool.
Oh, amazing.
So that was pretty awesome. There is a Google Workspace admin setting API being built out. So there are some things that you can do in there now that you were not able to, like access email gateways and routing rules, which is nice. And, we had, if you recall back last season in 2021, we had Charles Maxon on from the developer relations team. And there was a lot of talk about APIs coming to Google Workspace. And I think very, very soon that will be coming to light for all of us. There are a lot of things that Google has in store for us this year in terms of Google Workspace APIs. And it was very interesting to even see a dedicated slide to Google Workspace APIs on the roadmap for Q1 2022. So definitely a lot of things coming on that front. Google Cloud Google Cloud just announced a 10-year deal with Dun & Bradstreet. I believe that probably is mostly on the cloud side of things. I'm not sure if they have done anything on Workspace. I know I was talking to some Googlers last year and on the enterprise team. And one thing that they really wanted to start seeing was that the Google Cloud team to require the bundling of Google Cloud as well as Google Workspace. This was something that they weren't seeing happening in every deal. So that I know it's something that would, I think, help improve the overall user experience of getting Google Cloud as well as leveraging the Workspace environment. But sadly, that is not a requirement all the time, I guess, on those deals. But that is one around cloud. And Jesse, you'll have to maybe share another link with me because that is a Wall Street Journal article and I can't access it.
It should be a free link.
Paywalling me.
I'll
I don't
fix
know.
that.
It wasn't working for me. I can kind of read it in the grayed out text, but oh well. Yeah, I'm sure we'll need to make sure we have that
there you go.
updated for anyone else. And last but not least on our list here, there's an update here for Android users. And looking at, let's see what we have here. This is a super long title. What is the actual announcement here?
It wasn't clear.
I'm trying to actually.
Oh, shoot. The headline disappeared.
The link. Yeah. So, this was Shockwave, an amazing email client by ex-Google employees. That's right. Yes, I did read about that.
Yeah, but they killed the article.
They did. Yeah. On the Android headlines, they did kill the article there. So we'll have to find another article. There's plenty of announcements on this. Yes, the name of it was called Shockwave, right? Is that what it was called? Or was it just a Shockwave in the announcements? Okay.
No, it was called Shockwave.
Got it. Yeah. I'm trying to even see if I can find, maybe they redid the article there, but no, actually it shows up on their search on androidheadlines.com, but then you cannot click your own article. Yeah.
It looks like it's part of Shortwave, not Shockwave. It's called Shortwave, shortwave.com.
That's
email
probably
smarter and faster with a reinvented experience for your Gmail.
I bet you that's why they killed the article, because they called it Shockwave.
Yep.
It's like, that's why I was asking, like, is it called Shockwave? Is that the name of it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oops.
Okay. So they got the name wrong there.
Yeah. Here, I have an Android police article and XDA developer. We've got a whole bunch here. We'll fix it in the show notes. But it's bringing back the best features of Google Inbox, basically. By the people who developed it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go into our updates.
Right. Let's jump into the app. So first one we have is that search tips in Google Drive is now generally available. And just, something that was announced back in November 2021, the beta for this, it is now generally available. And what you'll see then in your Drive search is those, kind of helpful drop downs after you've typed in an initial query. So instead of going into advanced search to access all of these different helpful filters, those will show up after you hit enter, and it'll be right below, in between your results and your search bar there. To allow you to select things like location, file type, different people that may be owning it, last modified date, just looking at the title only, and then whether or not there are to-do items in there for you. So pretty helpful filters to kind of make it easier to find what you're looking for. To be honest, I often have pretty good results just from initial search in Drive. It usually kind of knows exactly what it is I'm looking for as soon as I start typing something. But for those of you that need a little bit more help, this is definitely pretty intuitive. And this is going to be rolling out starting the 15th of February for both rapid release and scheduled release domains on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for feature visibility. And this is going to be available to all Workspace customers as well as those. Interesting. They, this is okay. I thought they were talking about Legacy, G Suite, free. No, this is just as well as Legacy, G Suite Basic and Business customers. I just saw the word Legacy there. I'm like, talking about Legacy. Are they talking about Legacy tier now on the updates blog when they're killing it this summer. No.
Oh, they didn't have enough of the different SKUs to either include or forget to include up there. So they had to throw in another one just to confuse you even further.
Yeah. All right. And then next, this is an interesting one because I don't have access to it yet. Jesse, you do. And you don't actually like it too much. There's some quirky things about it. And we'll talk about that here in a sec. So that Smart Canvas for Google Docs is now announced and rolling out to people here gradually. It was announced last year, kind of early, I think around June, mid-year actually. And now is going to, these features are going to be available to everyone. So things like Pageless documents, things like summaries in Google Docs. There's some AI capabilities with meeting summaries, and then Pageless format. All those kind of things are coming out, and there are kind of a couple more things talked about in the Google Cloud blog, which is actually linked inside of the Workspace Updates blog post. So that's that's kind of the other topic that we talked about in the other updates. There is that this is something that got a Google Cloud blog post there as well. So yeah, some interesting things. Smart chips in Docs for recommended files and meetings. Start typing the @ symbol to see a list of recommended people, files, and meetings. There's some enhancements here to checklists available on the web and mobile, and you'll be able to soon assign checklist action items to other people. So quite a few nice things in there coming to Google. Essentially, Google Docs is really where this is mostly coming to. There's some things also happening over in Google Sheets, where there's some new views and sheets to better manage and interact with data. One of the first things, which will be a timeline view that makes tracking tasks easier and faster. So some pretty interesting thing there to essentially give you like a Gantt chart style project management tool, essentially, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if you noticed that in the Cloud blog post imagery there, Jesse.
I believe so. Yeah, I haven't seen it show up yet, though. Although I haven't really done a whole lot with tasks in there.
No, this is in Sheets. So yeah, this is in.
But it's dedicated tasks in Sheets. It's not your Google Tasks, right?
Right. It's just it's a way to manage task assignment and track those things in Sheets. So essentially, like a project management tool. Essentially, so a lot of people were talking about.
Right.
Why doesn't Google come out with a project management tool? Well, here's some functionality that is very close to that. And hopefully that can kind of be a good stepping stone to maybe some more functionality around project management in Sheets.
One can hope. Swing and a miss at the moment, though. But it seems like they're adding these things almost kind of little tiny piecemeal here. It's an interesting strategy. Yeah, what my issue that you alluded to before was, I'll let you take a drink here. In Pageless Docs is I was really kind of hoping for a Notion-like experience where it's a open doc and I can just put what I want wherever I want, anywhere on the doc, without borders, without margins, to basically just say, okay, this image I want to be in the top left corner over here, and then I want something to be diagonal from that, and then I want text in between them, and basically just be kind of like if I was standing in front of a whiteboard, a worksheet, to be able to write all that out or type all that out. And instead, what they've given us is still a center margin justified, I guess is the right word for it, ish, document there where all of your text and things are done in that center space. But then if you include a wide enough table, it will expand it out to fill the rest of the white space. So at the end of the day here, I still have a crap load of white space on wide screens. And even though I have that space, I can't really properly take advantage of it. And that's one of the things I was really hoping to be able to do here, to kind of change the construct of what is, working in a document. And maybe they did it that way because they wanted to keep some kind of a printing structure there in place. I don't know. But in my very early testing, I could not find a way to force an image to be full screen on the page, even if I wanted to. So some of my early disappointments there. We're going to continue playing with it, and I'm sure this is still just the very early original iteration of this, and it will continue to evolve as we go forward.
Yeah, it was the what we were playing around with that, inserting a table, and the table kind of went the full width if you had enough rows or if you had enough columns. But then if you had a single cell table, instead of it matching the same width as the multiple cell, multiple column width table, it did it like 3/4 of the way. And I thought, well, maybe that's a way you can like insert an image to go the full canvas width, is put it inside of a single cell table. But not even that worked. It did center it, and it did widen it a bit, but it just, it's really weird. We'll share that document in the show notes so you can see kind of what we're talking about. Some examples
Me goofing
there
around.
Of how that looks.
Yeah,
so
if they could just combine Jamboard into Smart Canvas, open it up, that'd be great.
Oh, well, you know what? Speaking of Jamboard, another topic, which actually, you know what? Let's make sure we add this to our list. And let me just kind of sneak this in there. But the Avacor announcement, the Avacor 27 and 65 inch screens were announced at a webinar this last week. And
officially,
so we'll add that link there. It was about a little over a 30-minute session talking about those two new devices, and pretty cool. I mean, I think the 27 inch is definitely going to be very useful for our organization. We have a lot of small meeting rooms that need a screen, and it would be great to have a touch screen that allows someone to connect into Google Meet or even other, meeting room events or, meeting platforms. So users can connect their screen into there through just a, USB-C cable and get it connected as an extended screen. So that can be useful. And it will, take the camera and mic and pass it to the laptop that the person is connected to, so that they can, leverage the audio and video that's there in the room on that device through that other, meeting platform, for example, which is good.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to be able to get some early hands-on with that. I'm talking to some people out here in the LA area that as soon as they get some demo devices in, I'll be able to run over and get some hands-on, play around with it, maybe take some video if they let us.
Connect me to that, because I would love to grab some of those devices and test them out. Oh, you've got to go pick them up there? They're just local?
No, they're not going to likely give me one, but they'll give me some hands-on time. I'd love to get the Series 1 board, 65 inch, put it over right here next to me and be able to have that wonderful experience there. But I doubt that's going to happen. Right. No, I was going to order one just for testing purposes, but I don't think from what I'm hearing is they're probably going to go for the bigger customers first. So, that's logical. That makes sense. But so to be clear, they had teased these devices a little while back. I think it was during Next, or when was the first time that they came out with
so it's been
talking about these?
It's been a little while.
It's been a while.
And they have,
but now this was more of an official.
Well.
Yep. They have a board and a desk. So Google Meet Series 1 and then Series 1 Desk 27. I don't know why. I guess it's the Google Meet Series 1 Board 65 by Avacor. It's a little bit. So it's a Series 1 Desk 27 and Series 1 Board 65. That's the short version of those names. But so now that we have some more information about them and details and whatnot. And did you grab the link to that recording? Can you put it in the show notes?
It's
great. So
it's there. Hopefully you see it. Yeah.
I didn't have my show notes open. I was looking at the Avacor site.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it. So good stuff.
It's all linked there now. So we have that.
So that was a
Did you catch the price on the 65 inch and this 27 inch?
I don't remember. I have it written down, I think, in my notes. I'll have to go back and review or just rewatch the webinar. Do you remember if they said it in the webinar?
I don't.
I know that I had heard it
in
previous talking, as I've been in touch with them about buying a bunch. But let me see if I can find it here real quick while you talk.
Yeah, I thought the pricing on the 27 was around the 2,000 mark, and I did not see
27 MSRP is $19.99.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have the 65 MSRP, but we can ask.
I might. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll reach out to Avocor and get some more information for all of you. And hey, maybe we'll even get somebody from Avocor to come on the show. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Given that I already have a rep over there that I've been talking to, so.
Yeah. I don't have the price.
Crystal at Avocor, if you're listening, we invite you on the show. We'll find out more info for you, folks.
All right. So we're actually still talking about the Smart Canvas, aren't we? We kind of jumped over.
I think we digressed. Yeah,
we did a bit. So yeah, let's jump back to the Smart Canvas update there. So that is obviously rolling out to most people right now. It hasn't quite gotten to everyone. And still within the timelines here that they are stating. So it started the 15th of February for both rapid release and scheduled release domains, and it is on an extended rollout, which means potentially longer than 15 days for feature visibility. So it could roll into that March timeframe for some of the users, which looking like it might be me, might be one of them. But this is available to all Workspace customers as well as like a CG Suite Basic and Business customers. And that is for pageless formatting and summaries. However, summary suggestions is going to roll out to most editions, but it is not going to be available for education, fundamentals, and nonprofits, unfortunately. So, yeah. Of course, they wrote it a little bit interesting here because they said, not available to Google Workspace, comma, education fundamentals, comma, and nonprofits. So basically they said it's not available for Google Workspace, which is a weird statement there because of course it is available to most Google Workspace editions.
Would that be base? No, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure what they were referring to there. We might have to ask them for some clarification
personal.
On that. Yeah.
Frontline is listed there. It is available for Frontline, so I don't know.
Well,
individual,
if we look at I'm looking at the help article that they linked to for document summaries, and even on the document summaries help article, there are, I wonder if that's summary suggestions. Where's the link to summary suggestions? I don't know if they have. It doesn't actually mention summary suggestions as to which SKUs those are available on. So not really sure what they were referring to there. We'll have to reach out to someone and get some clarification on that. All right, next, in terms of updates, we have the improved search experience in Google Chat on the web. So there are some improvements there around suggesting certain people based on your chat activity. When you click into the search bar, there's also some intelligent suggestions for people, spaces, and group messages when you begin typing in the search bar. And I hope that they are, I haven't tested this out yet, but I know that sometimes when you were linking to messages in chat, it wouldn't always go to that page in chat. So hopefully they improve some of that as well on those link click-throughs. But this is going to be available to everyone right now. So there's kind of no rollout pace to that. It just says it's available immediately for everyone. And If you want to learn more about that, there's some links to searching messages and spaces in Google Chat in the Help Center. And it's available to all Workspace customers, as well as the basic and business, as well as users on personal Google accounts too. And then finally, we have
it says specifically this update will.
Oh,
1 second. It says this update will be available only on Google Chat on the web, aka chat.google.com. I can confirm it is also in the chat PWA, which is obviously just chat.google.com in a wrapper. But I have it. I tested it, and it does work.
There we go. Yeah. So definitely Google Chat on the web only, and on the desktop, essentially.
Although it does say it brings it in the experience in line with chat on mobile and other Workspace apps such as Gmail or Google Drive. So chat on mobile already does this. So I don't know why they had to specify that. But okay. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
That's fine. Just getting some clarity. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. And then, last update we have is that new document previews now enhance the Google Cloud search experience. New document previews enhance the cloud search experience. So for those of you using cloud search, it looks like this is going to be available to you now. And this gives users a snapshot of documents in the search results page without having to open the link. So it's pretty useful when you are trying to distinguish between documents with similar titles, so you can be more confident in what you're opening as being relevant and accurate. So they're going to be available for most kind of the popular document formats such as Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, as well as PDFs and Microsoft Word documents, and more, apparently. So there's a whole link to which thumbnails can be enabled on Cloud Search. And when I say Cloud Search, these are things as part of the Cloud Search API. So whether or not this is also showing up in kind of the native cloud search that you get on some of the higher Workspace tiers, I presume that there'll be some preview. There's already some preview capabilities, within the kind of the native cloud search interface, like you would normally get there. But this is available now, and this is a feature that is off by default for admins. So it needs to be enabled in the search application or the data source level. And that link over in the article gives you some information about the developer documentation for thumbnails and how to leverage that and turn that on and enable that in your data sources. So that is all that we have in terms of the published releases and updates. Jesse, you want to kick off the other topics there with the ChromeOS Flex announcement and what that's all about?
Sure. Absolutely. So this is a sort of a rebranding and a re-engineering of something that we've talked about a bunch of times on this show before. And we even had some of the Neverwhere folks. Did we? We had some of the Neverwhere folks talk about it in the past.
Ben,
it's essentially Google bought. Yeah, I think we had Ben on talking about what they were working on. So Neverwhere is a company that Google bought that had created a variant of ChromeOS that was able to run on pretty much any somewhat modern computer. Not any, but a lot of them. And I saw their previous list before Google bought them, the list of computers that they had tested it on. And there were hundreds of them. So they had really gone to town on making sure it was going to work on as many older style legacy machines as possible. And I'm talking like, old school Dell Optiplex desktop, thin clients even, etc. It was really well done, and it was used a lot in education and other places to turn old computers into essentially either, if they were laptops, then Chromebooks or Chrome desktop devices. So Google bought them back in December of 2020, and they are now renaming it to ChromeOS Flex, and they have been reworking the OS to make it more in line with Google Chrome OS in terms of the security updates, the update timeline, and now it is rolling out in a limited beta. Apparently, it's going to only be available on certain devices and have some glitches. That's essentially what we're hearing. Yes, Steve, you want to say something?
Well, I'm just saying. So I think there isn't really a limitation on this. It's available to anyone.
It's limited to certain devices. It's not available on as many devices as it was before, right?
I think it aligns with all of the Neverware devices that are out there, because the article, the support article, links to the standard, I think, Neverware. I've got to see. I haven't compared it all side by side to see if there's another Neverware.
Let's go through it.
Certified documents or certified devices, but the number of devices that it is certified for that says no issues is around like the 45 devices mark. And then you have the number of devices with like minimal expected issues, like around 250. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have, there's maybe, I think, what was it? Maybe like 20 or something like that devices where it's like, there's going to be issues. Like there's definitely major issues here.
Don't bother installing it on a Dell Inspiron 1545.
Yeah. There's a few that just really don't work well.
The warning that they have on the support article is, and I quote, ChromeOS Flex is currently released for early access and is still unstable. During this period, the list below will indicate the most recent status of each model. Some models might not yet work at all, while others may have only minor issues. So there you go. Yeah. Even models with no issues are potentially unstable and should not be deployed for production. So you can download it, you can play with it, but at your own risk.
Yes.
And you've got, you said you've got a Mac that you were going to play around with. I've got some other devices here that I can try and get that done by next week's episode, so we can let you know how smoothly that goes. I have an old laptop that's like, 3 inches thick, one of those super cheap $400 garbage processor used for kids kind of a laptop that I'm going to try and throw it on and see what happens. But I like your suggestion at the beginning of the episode. Also put it on the Surfaces. I have a couple of older Surfaces and a Surface Go Gen 1 that might be fun to have ChromeOS on. So, hey, why not?
Yeah.
See if it works. Is it on the list? I'll have to check. But that's available for download now. It's free. You can go and follow the instructions in our show notes, and they have instructions on how to download it, install it. You can create a bootable USB, and you can either boot off it or you can boot off it and install. And so if you want to try it out, you can do it just by booting off the USB, or just carry a bootable ChromeOS USB with you, which I would do in the much earlier days of when I was playing around with computers and found myself on lots of other devices that weren't my own, but not so much anymore, back when I was in school and such. But now I find that less useful. The bootable environment I carry around on my USB is the, what the hell is it called? I'm blanking on it now. There's a diagnostic environment for Windows PCs mostly. But anyway, I digress. We'll do some testing on this and we'll get back to you all.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a different Neverware list.
It's probably the Neverware list, but then they went through it and said, all right, well, here's the ones that have problems and so on.
Yeah. There's a lot.
All right. So
there's like 400, I think there's a lot more on the Neverware list, because they have, it says that they have the database of 450 certified models. And the Google Chrome OS Flex is around 350.
Right. Well, I imagine that list is probably being added to, and that these are the only ones that they've actually managed to test it on or something, or know that it'll work with or not. I mean, they acquired Neverware. They have probably also acquired Neverware's entire bench of test devices. So I imagine that they're just working their way through all of those.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, I think Neverware was basically gathering all of those different devices together, or talking to people who can say whether or not they work on them reliably. I don't remember exactly how they did it. So we'll have to get Ben back on the show and talk to him about that. Alrighty. Then we also have some other links on Smart Canvas, but we already talked about those above. These are just news articles that are covering it from 9 to 5 Google and Google's Cloud post about that as well. So you get the links on there, as well as the links for the Avocor new Series 1 Desk 27 and the Series 1 Board 65. That Series 1 Board 65, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, is completely replacing what was the Jamboard physical board. There is no more Jamboard. It's just this moving forward.
As correct. That is the reason why we received free Jamboards.
Yeah.
Google was trying to basically get rid of the old Jamboards and that were made by AOpen. I guess they had a whole bunch of demo. It seemed like it was a bunch of demo units that they shipped out to people early on, and they needed to find homes for. And they nicely shipped me two. I think you received one, right? Or you got two.
Yeah.
You did get two.
I got two. I got two in the end. And there's one sitting in the conference room and the other one is sitting in my office. And it's like, I don't know.
Oh, so you have both.
I mean, if they'll let me, I'll bring it over here. But yeah, one of them is, no, they're both unboxed. I think in the end.
Both, okay.
But I think I'm going to box one up and bring it over to my studio over here, just for fun, just so that I can have it.
I mean, that should be like part of your background, is like just having an old Jamboard behind you.
I'll push back the backdrop here and make it angled. You can see the Jamboard over there.
Something like that, yeah.
Just put a huge Workspace Recap logo on there.
Yeah.
All right.
You can just have a Google graveyard behind you. Jamboard's kind of included.
There you go.
I think essentially.
Yep. Interesting. Have logos of all of the Google killed services on the Jamboard. Right. Just have it RIP Google's. Good times. All right. What else do we have going on here? We've got Google Workspace productivity tips. I love this. This is we still have a bunch to go. This is a YouTube playlist that is a short little tidbits, videos of just little things that you can do, productivity tips on Google Workspace, how to change your background in Google Meet, how to add a keep note to your Google Calendar, how to pre-fill a Google form. I have sent these out to so many people just as hey, don't listen to me tell you how to do it. Here's the expert telling you how to do it. And I say the expert because it is literally the expert on this. It is Laura Mae Martin, if I remember correctly. And she is, I think her title is productivity expert at Google. If I'm remembering this correctly, and I'm going to have to look it up because I don't want to butcher this. Let me see here. Productivity advisor at Google. So she's literally like productivity tips from the person whose title is productivity advisor, office of the CEO over at Google. So she puts together these wonderful videos, and they are super helpful both for people who know a lot about Workspace, like everybody who's listening to this, as well as for end users who you're just like, hey, here's how you can do a laser pointer in Google Slides or whatever it is. And so the newsworthy item here is that there are new videos. So if you have looked at this in the past, there are new videos that have been posted and I believe are continuing to be posted, updated as recently as 7 days ago. So go and check it out. A couple of new ones in there. How to change the tab color in Google Sheets. How to open all links at once in Google Sheets. Bunch of Google Sheets ones in here. How to create breakout rooms in Google Meet. All good things there. So huge fan of that. There are 77 videos of them. Collectively, they have over 117,000 views. So obviously, I'm not the only one that likes it. So go and check it out. Yeah. We will link to that in our show notes below.
Yeah, as I saw that, I think and there was also another good resource as well if you're looking for kind of training materials. I didn't realize there were so many subscribers to this YouTube channel, but over 11,000 subscribers over on the Sapiers YouTube channel, which is run by Chanel Greco. And there's a lot of similarly short length video tutorials. Yep. On workspace optimization tips and tricks, and it dives into kind of similar things, I think, to the Google one as well. So between those two channels, the official Google one and the other one, there is a pretty great resources learning Google Workspace.
Yeah, shout out to her. She's just been creating these for the last couple of years here and really just grown it totally organically and just by sharing this knowledge and creating this stuff for her clients. And it's a great channel. So in addition to the Tab Geeks channel, you should go and check out SAPERIS, youtube.com/SAPERIS. So we'll put a tweet or a link in the show notes for there. And we'll give her a shout out on Twitter as well. Yeah, she's a friend of the channel, and she was I think we met her through Clubhouse, actually. Wasn't that I'm pretty sure.
Maybe. It might be. I'm trying to think of like where it started. That might have been the case.
Yep. Back when we were playing around with Clubhouse and doing regular weekly shows, and I didn't have enough time or bandwidth to deal with that, so we killed it. Right. But hey, we got something out of it. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, onward and upward. Google Search on desktop tests adding widgets and weather and other Discover-like cards. And I'm going, just give us iGoogle back already. And so, you've all heard me talk about my love for my own customizable Google homepage dashboard that was historically been called iGoogle. And it looks like we're headed back in that direction. So it appears that at the very bottom of google.com, you're going to be able to add additional content, which will include weather, trending, what to watch, stocks or markets, and local events with the date, and COVID news. So I imagine that as this rolls out and gets continually tested, it'll become more customizable. I've already seen some of this happening in Google Chrome. When you open up to the new Chrome tab, they've got their little helpful new things that they have there, whether the list of shopping carts or one of them was recipes and stuff, and I turned that off because I don't need that on my work one, but on my personal one I still have it there, and some other stuff that they're adding to that, and I think we've heard that there's some more stuff coming as well. So it looks like we're headed for a convergence here that's going to bring all of these features back to, what was that, 2005 8 10. When did they kill that? I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But they had started it they killed it in 2013. There you go. Good times. It was Ajax based for the archivists in the audience that want to know. It was launched in 2005. So obviously I'm showing how long I've been a Google fanboy here. But anyway, so that's coming down the pipe. Keep an eye out for that. Moving on. New font. It's not really a new font. It's an additional add-on font. Roboto, if you're not familiar with it, was the official Android system font and was announced and introduced in 2011. They give it a big upgrade 3 years later. And now the newest variation of that is Roboto Serif and is designed, quote, designed to make reading more comfortable at any size and any format. So a variable typeface family designed to create a comfortable and frictionless reading experience, yada, yada, yada. Basically, it's Google tweaking their Android font and giving it to everybody to make it really easy to read, no matter how small or how big you make it. So that, I believe, is available now. I don't think that there's a rollout thing for that here. Here we go. Available to download today. The font is licensed under the Open Font license. So you can go and grab that, and we'll put the link in the notes as well.
And that is available in the document already. Like you can choose that in your Google Docs, right? I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it is.
Let's see.
Let's see here.
Roboto. Whoops. Roboto. I can select Roboto. Roboto. I don't see Roboto Serif yet. Maybe not.
Okay, right. So that's why I was thinking it might have been in there, because there's 4 Robotos right now, but not the serif one. So there's Roboto Condensed, Roboto Mono, Roboto Slab. Got it.
9 to 5 Google notes that it appears to have been completed last year, but Google only publicized its availability today. So I don't know. But apparently the company's first-party apps and services are starting to use Google Sans text, as they detailed at Google I/O in 2021. So it's unclear whether Google has any plans to open up access for third parties or if it will remain proprietary. So I don't know. But for any font nerds, there you go. Enjoy. I know that when I'm going through and creating, documents for presentations or whatever, I spend way too much time choosing and selecting and going through all of the different fonts. And going, well, how's that look? No, how's that look? How's that look bolded? Let's go and try that again. How about all caps? How's that look caps all bolded? Almost. There you go. All right. The next one here is something that Steve was very excited about, and I think is super duper cool. Is Google has introduced a infrastructure diagramming tool, and I was looking at this and I was like, "Wow, this thing is just super awesome and going to be super duper helpful." And then Steve said, "Yeah, but then you can one-click deploy from it directly." And I was just like, "Wait, what?" And apparently that's the case. So, Steve, you looked more into it. Take it away.
Well, that was about all I did.
Oh, okay, fine.
I haven't actually tested
Basically,
it.
it's like a Lucidchart or a Visio. Yeah, well, it looks like a Lucidchart or Visio competitor specifically designed for Google Cloud architecture products. But the crazy thing here is that you can one-click, single click deploy. As they say here, once you're happy with your architecture, you need a simple way to just deploy it. You can deploy all the architecture components in Google Cloud with a single click. Right now, we have a few architecture examples that you can deploy. I want to give these a try. So they have deploy a compute engine application behind load balancer and deploy a 3-tier application using Cloud Run, Cloud SQL, or SQL, depending on how you want to pronounce that, memory store, and cloud build. So some interesting stuff in here for the developers in the audience or those that are managing developers. Definitely go and take a look at that. This thing looks awesome.
Yeah.
Onward. Back to my notes. Did you talk about the admin settings API before? No, that wasn't in the actual updates.
I think we just kind of alluded to the fact that we were seeing a lot of APIs on the Q1 2022 roadmap. Mm-hmm. And, we'll start to see a lot more APIs coming out later this year. But some of them that we're kind of silently seeing here is that there's the ability to manage email gateway and routing through the API. And managing single sign-on settings, which I believe are all new. I don't remember seeing any of those before. So those are available. So there's the Google Workspace single sign-on feature, lets users log into multiple services. Of course, so as we know, but there's a way to receive single sign-on settings through the API, and then update single sign-on settings and all that. And then you can retrieve outbound email gateway settings. You can update outbound email gateway settings, and manage your email routing settings as well. So whether or not we will see those in GAM Advanced, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to ask Ross. I'm not sure if Jay will include those in the standard GAM, but hopefully some of that functionality might be available in some way, shape, or form. It'd be nice to see that. I'm sure Ross would be interested in developing that, as he loves working on that project.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah. And then let's see, anything else on that one? If not, we can jump into the next one.
Some more Google Cloud news.
Yeah, just some information around a 10-year deal that Google Cloud has with Dun & Bradstreet. So for those of you that...
Didn't you get paywalled on this?
I did, but now it's opening up for some reason for me. So
because I gave you the freeloading link. Wall Street Journal has this cool thing where you can copy a free link off of a single article, and then when you open it, it'll not paywall you. But anyway, this is an interesting deal because it's not just, hey, Dun & Bradstreet is going to Dun & Bradstreet will use Google Cloud for their cloud computing needs. This is a cooperation deal, actually. Dun & Bradstreet, yes, will do their infrastructure modernization on Google Cloud as their preferred provider, but they're also going to collaborate on, quote, increasing visibility in supply chains, which have been jammed during the pandemic. So basically, Dun & Bradstreet is going to give or supply Google with its repository of business data to Google Cloud's supply chain twin, which is a technology that offers digital representation of physical supply chains. And that's going to be huge for Google as they try and tackle that as the next market. It'll be interesting to see. The way that they've marketed Google Cloud in the past has been kind of going after key markets. So they've got entertainment, they've got media, they've got what are the other ones? I'm blanking on them now. There were like 5 in the beginning, 5 key markets, and then there were 7. So it looks like supply chain may be another major area that they're trying to innovate in, given all the supply chain issues that we've had recently. So not only does it get Google a massive new partner for purchasing their cloud equipment or cloud services rather, but also gives them a crap load of new data that Dun & Bradstreet has on this new product that they're trying to build. So interesting Wall Street Journal article there if you're interested in supply chain visibility and how their partnerships work.
Yeah, I just added the link to the Google Supply Chain Twin and Pulse, which is currently in preview. So you have that. And that was announced, trying to see when that was announced a while back. There's a link to the announcement, which looks like it happened back in September 14th, towards the end of last year. And yeah, interesting to see what that is all about, because it's an interesting topic. I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. And especially since it has such a big impact on everyone's day-to-day lives right now. I mean, that's just, you hear that everywhere. There's just things aren't available at the moment. It's so hard to get new things and get things delivered. If it's not in stock, you're, sometimes looking at quite a few weeks of lead time.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Or if you're in the Cisco world, a year and a half.
Right.
All right. And then this last one, as we realized at the beginning of the episode here, we totally butchered what was not shockwave, but in fact is shortwave, and is not only for Android users. So let me just scrap that entirely and say, hey, if you don't know about shortwave, we discovered this thing called shortwave, which, and they're not sponsoring the episode, although it is starting to sound that way, is an app that is similar to, what is it called? Now I'm looking on that one too. Similar inbox. Some of the other inboxes that basically put a inbox layer on top of your Gmail inbox and allow you to sign in with Gmail, and then give you their version of what they think the Gmail experience should be. And they do have a free tier, and it is apparently by the people who started or developed Google Inbox at Google and are now working on this at their own company. So if you're a big fan of Google Inbox, it does look extremely similar. Not sure how they pulled that off in terms of, getting permission from Google to do it, I suppose, and not getting sued.
Well, I don't know if it was the Inbox team. I think it was definitely someone from the Firebase team. And
the article that I was reading originally had said it was the Inbox group. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that, but I know it was some Firebase
team members. Given that they got the name wrong, it's possible they got that wrong also.
Yeah, I've definitely seen Firebase, engineer. So the CEO, Andrew Lee, from Shortwave, he was kind of a key engineer on the Firebase team. And I think possibly that some of the functionality and features or things that were part of Firebase maybe played, an important role in how the Inbox by Google functionality was built, or why maybe they were linked together. That could be what it is. That Firebase played a big part in the Inbox experience for Google. So that's probably where that comes together.
So did this actually just launch? And what I was seeing was just an article about the Android app. I'm not entirely certain here.
Possibly. No. I mean, I think it's probably been, it's been publicized very recently, just now. So I don't know how long it's been out, in kind of an early phase, but trying to see if this is, Shortwave. I mean, the Twitter handle has been out since May 2020. So there you go. So it's been around for a little while, but heavily publicized right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, despite only having 4 updates, this episode is an hour, so we're going to wrap it up so that I can go to bed. We're recording pretty late here. That's all for this week. Send us your questions and comments below if you're on YouTube, or if you prefer on Twitter at Workspace Recap, and on our website, workspacerecap.com. Hit the subscribe button wherever you listen. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.